You guys asked, you shall receive. Tonight we are doing our first episode of Bobbie Glows. Pizza edition. Here's the colors that I'm using for the fire. Screenshot if needed. And let's go. So first, we're going to take the darkest color. And we're going to outline the outer edge of these boxes closest to the fire. It's close to the fire. It's going to be the hottest part, so that's why it's the darkest. And now we're going with the medium color. As you can see, I'm just layering it along next to where I did the dark part. And continuing on. Next is the lightest color because it's the farthest away from the fire, and we're blendy. And I just honestly go back over the entire thing with that light color to make it all seamlessly blend together. So now I'm going to be taking just the normal color I want my boxes to be and just start coloring in the white parts. Coloring it the beautiful color that I want the box, which is this brown tan color. Oh, looks like I did a second coat just to darken it up. Okay, after that, we're moving on to the bear, and we're going to be doing the back side of him because that's the part where the fire will be reflecting. Obviously, the front part of him, none of that would have reflections because his backside is in the way, right? That should make sense. So I'm doing the exact same thing I did with the pizza boxes. We're going dark, then medium, then light, and going over with the light. And as you can see, I'm working in sections so that the ink doesn't dry and I can go over all of it with the lightest color so it blends really well and seamlessly. Now we're moving on to the table, the part that would be right in front of the fire and it's reflecting straight out onto the table. Doing the exact same method, dark, medium into light, and it's going a bit onto the pizza crust, and we're just fanning it out, looking all wonderful. And again, I go over it again with, actually this time I'm adding a bit more orange in there just to make it a bit hotter looking. And then I go back in with my yellow and do it all up. And now we're into the fireplace. Same thing, as you can see, dark, medium, light, and then all over with the light. It's pretty simple once you get it. Just going to add a little bit to the pizza crust here and then onto the table. So I'm taking my table color and then I'm going back in with my lightest yellow color and just kind of circulating, that's even a word, doing circles to blend it kind of into the table. Same on the other side, table color, back in with the lightest yellow and little circles to kind of blendy onto the table as if it was fading off. Looks like I wanted to blend some more, so I did. And now we are just going back onto the bear, coloring the normal color, whatever color we choose to make him look all cute. And we just color it right up to the line. That's it. As you can see, it kind of has like a little darker effect to it, but I think it looks great. Adds to the vibe. Into his hat, same thing, just color the color I want it to be. And then we're putting a shadow on the very front of him because I wanted to emanate that. It's very bright behind him and quite a bit darker in the front of him. So this is the very part that, let's say the overhead light from the store would not reach. And we just chose a darker color just to offset it a little bit, make it shadowy and cute. My hand was a bit shaky there for some reason. Okay, now on to the highlight. This is just the hottest part of his head, so to speak. It's the part closest to the fire where it would just be shining off of him. So just a line, a little dot. I'm using a Jelly Roll gel pen, just white, just to put that little bit of sheen. As you can see, it just immediately makes it look a bit hotter. Onto the fire, same thing. We are going light to dark this time. And then before it all dries, I go back in with my lightest yellow and I just blendy real quick. Onto the pizza boxes. They deserve a bit of highlight because they're really close to the fire. So we just add a little lines on there, make it look hot. This counter I thought deserved to be a bit more yellow and darkish compared to the other. So I added some yellow. Onto the glass, we just put the lightest color yellow on that side. The straw is kind of in the way, so it wouldn't go past the straw. And I used the yellow on the one side, colored in the gray that the countertop would be, added that yellow to make it look like it's the same thing as the cupboard, like it's see-through. And then I think I chose like a Dr. Pepper kind of color for my pop. And yes, it's pop because I'm Canadian. So here's our delicious Dr. Pepper going in. And then I go back in with the lightest yellow just to swirl it in and blend it all together. And then we're going to do the next cup as well. And again, same thing. The straw would be in the way, so only the side closest to the fire would be kind of reflecting. I do that with the yellow. Give it a little swirly swirly. I went in with the mid-tone. And then I wanted this one to be like Sprite or water. So it would be more like see-through onto the table, but it wouldn't be the exact color. So I put like a bit of gray in there. And then here I'm using a lighter color than the table, because it would be see-through, but not the same color. I had done the box earlier, totally fudged it up, so ignore the base color. So for here, if you were doing it, just do this step. So I took a darker brown, and I went around and just did like an inside square to darken it up, as if that little tab was in the way, and went around and made a square. You'll see me do that here in the darker color. And then I just took a lighter brown. Oh, that's me covering up my mess on the edge. Ignore that. I took a lighter brown and then just colored in my square to make it look like the fire would be reflecting off that box in that area, and it would just be a brighter section than the rest of the box. Moving back to this side of the counter where I made it lighter than the left side of the counter because it's closest to the fire, and kind of gave it an overall yellow hue, but the bottom of my counter ends up being gray overall. So I wanted to add just a bit more gray to the bottom half to darken it down as if it was the actual real color. Lighter on the top, the green, gray on the bottom, darker. And you'll see that in my final image as well. But I decided to color that whole part of the counter yellowish because of the fire. So you can see here when I zoom out that part of the counter is a lot brighter because it's closest to the fire, and then he's in the way, so the rest of the counter will be normal, if that makes sense. And then this isn't part of the glowing, but I thought I'd just add this in, showing me doing the outside through his window. I did the lightest part of the grass closest to the window very bright, as you can see, because in my mind the light from the shop would be shining through, and so I did it really light there and then did dark and then tapered the same way I would do the glowing from the fire and blend it all out at the end. And then this is just an added bonus. I added the flower around all of the dough components. So I just took my Jelly Roll pen and dot, and as it was wet, I just tap my finger slightly, tap, 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 and then kept going. I didn't let it dry before I tapped on it. So just do a little section with dots and then tap with your finger, and it looks so cute. And here's the final result. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Bobbie Glows, and I hope that you follow along because I have many more up my sleeve. Okay, bye!